the chat.
Okay, so we're live like 3, 2...
No, we're already live, you asshole. Stop fucking up my show.
I didn't fuck up your show. You didn't know how to activate the chat.
You did this. This was you.
Guapo's still killing polar bears. I don't know what's going on right now.
Guapo, get off
I'm
of
not.
Minecraft.
You see my hands. I'm not killing polar bears right now because of your ass.
God
I
damn
can
it.
kick you from that server.
Hey, everybody. We're talking about NXT The End. Guapo's fucking playing Minecraft because he's a goddamn unprofessional.
He's
Spaz
a goddamn
my show. Welcome to Wrestle Recap.
Hola, mis amigos. Senor Guapo here again, once again for another wonderful episode of Wrestle Recap. Cap.
You almost really fucked that up.
I almost did.
You have more life.
Everybody, it's your pal Spaz, Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check. I hope you followed all the links because we're not actually doing this on my channel. We are doing this on Kristen's channel eventually because the chat is a thing. There's already 2 people watching, though, so we're good.
Hey, hi, 2 people.
I think that's me and you, Kristen.
It's you. Oh, it's Spaz. I just said hi to, yay to us. Well, hi, us. How are we doing?
We're doing great. How are you? Oh, God.
I don't care if nobody watches. But if we did it on Spaz's channel, then people would be watching.
I'm going to tweet it out. I'll get people watching.
Well, now that you mention it, just come by next Tuesday when we're going to preview Money in the Bank.
Exactly. Come by next Tuesday. We'll do it on Spaz's channel, and people will come. Anyways, let's talk about the pay-per-view.
If you put this link up on Twitter, the friggin' thumbnail is Guapo looking constipated.
Great. It's not me this time.
It happens.
That's
Funny
true.
thing about this pay-per-view, me and Guapo didn't see the first match. So, Spaz, why don't you tell us about
False.
it?
I did see the first match. Thank you.
Guapo, Spaz, talk about the first match while I get some more to drink.
Oh, God. That's how I
The
felt.
video, the host is left. I don't know, the whole Andreatti Cien Almas kind of looks like Mexican Godfather with less charisma, and then he takes the gimmicks off and he has like regular ring gear and he looks like a regular guy. So, I mean, he's decent in the ring. They put him in there with Ty Dillinger, who's the Dolph Ziggler of NXT. But I'm not going to lie, Guapo, you might disagree, a lot of this match was me just going, fucking Dillinger's great and this new guy is new.
Yeah, honestly, I completely agree with you. Just, he was decent. I mean, he didn't impress me, though. The best part of it was...
Keep your wine, Kristen.
The best part... Oh, God. Why are you drinking that wine? You know...
Because you love it.
It's really fucking good wine. Anyway. The best part of the match was when they pointed out that fucking Ty Dillinger is a perfect 10 and his name in Spanish is 100.
Isn't it his nickname because it's all in brackets and shit?
Yeah.
So it's Andrade 100 Almas versus the perfect 10 Ty Dillinger. And
Correct.
I'm not going to lie, in my opinion, Dillinger should have won this because he was better. And he's just the guy that they put out there to face all the new guys. And I don't know.
That's
Dillinger should be used better. I wouldn't mind Dillinger versus Samoa Joe. I'm not saying make him win, obviously, but Dillinger versus Samoa Joe has to happen at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dillinger definitely needs to win at some point. But unfortunately, I don't see it happening only on the premise that Dillinger is just going to be the jobber guy in NXT because he is he's basically just a trainer. He's the last step before they go wrestle anybody else.
Yeah. I was telling Kristen when we were offline before you joined us, the 10 gimmick started off really, really lame, and I like what he's done with it. Like when they have like a big, intense like counter wrestling sequence, and then the guy's catching his breath, and then Dillinger's just like 10, but he doesn't do it. He lets the crowd do it because he knows the crowd is into it now, and he's playing the crowd, and the crowd loves him. So they got to do something with him.
I don't see him going for the NXT title though.
Would you want to see him as a mid-carder on the main roster?
I wouldn't mind it.
Because the rumor was, before Cody Rhodes asked for his release, the rumor was that they were going to be doing like a handsome guy faction with like him and Breeze and Rhodes.
Okay.
So, and I mean, friggin' Breeze is with Fandango now, which I like, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only one on the planet.
Breezango.
Okay, the gimmicks are bad, the two guys involved are good, and they work well as a tag team, so ditch the gimmicks and build them as a good team. That's my theory on that.
The name is awful.
No, the name is the combination of the gimmicks, and the gimmicks are horrible. So I'm saying shed the gimmicks altogether and just keep those two talents, whatever their real names are, as a tag team and build them from there.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys would like to add about the first match?
He was decent. Not that great, but decent.
This is going to sound like a really douchebaggy thing to say. When they hold off debuting an NXT talent until a takeover, I expect a little more than this. I'm not going to lie. Like when they
agree with that idea that you expect if they're holding them off this long to debut on a pay-per-view, what is essentially an NXT pay-per-view.
Yeah, well, it is the NXT.
A higher level.
Because I don't know, and this is Guapo. Sorry, Kristen. We talked about this about somebody else that we'll talk about later. But watching this, especially as his debut, where you need to make your impact, I don't know what his deal is. Like, I know he comes out and he's very gimmicked up, but I don't know what the gimmick is. So, did I miss something, or are you with me on that one?
I'm with you completely because I saw no gimmick whatsoever.
He's just a dude.
Basically.
I will say,
a dude that wrestles who used to wear a mask.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I did watch the little Facebook Live interview that Triple H did after the show was over. It was good. He put over everybody how proud he is of the brand and all that sort of thing. Apparently, The End is just the end of them referring to it as developmental and recognizing it as a separate brand. That's what The End meant. So that was a whole lot of nothing. But when he starts talking about all the talent in the ring and they started talking about the debut of Almas, he's like, well, I've been looking for this guy for a while. If you hear the ladies out there in the... He actually called it the NXT zone. Like Impact Zone.
Don't call it that.
Don't do it at all.
But it's a good jab.
He's like, if you listen to the ladies in the audience, he's a pretty handsome guy. I don't know what idiot would have ever put him in a mask.
Did you catch...
But he took a jab at the Lucha Libre right there.
Yeah.
And he said, if you sit there and you say, I don't know what idiot would have ever put this guy in a mask, there is a good section of wrestling that's going to be mad at you for that.
Yeah.
He just doesn't get Lucha Libre. Luchas have never done very well on WWE with the exception of Rey Mysterio anyways.
I present Ultimo Dragon. Also, he did pretty good.
Ultimo Dragon falling on his face twice at WrestleMania.
Hey,
in WWE.
Still works.
So that was in WWE because that might have been before my time.
Yeah, that was way before your time.
Okay, so out of how long has WWE been, let's say, on TV? Because I think it's 1987 that the first episode of Raw debuted.
Okay, but WWE's been around a lot longer than that.
Yes, they've been a lot longer than that. I'm saying let's even narrow it to television. Okay. That's 29 years. I know that because I was born that year. So it's about 29 years. Two guys.
You are younger than WrestleMania.
I am younger than WrestleMania. But what my point is, two guys in WWE wear masks and have made it. Have made a name for themselves in WWE.
I would say three.
Who's the third?
Rey Mysterio, Mankind, and Kane.
Oh, I don't count Mankind as a Lucha Libre, though. What I mean is by Lucha Libre.
Oh, okay. You didn't specify that.
Lucha. Okay.
So what other luchador
we're talking about that luchas don't really do all that well in WWE anyways. There's two.
Talking about other than
think of it 29 years of Raw being on TV. Not even counting Raw not on TV.
But if you want to combine WWE as a whole, luchas, they thrived more in WCW than they ever did in WWE. But that was because
WCW is
they had the Cruiserweight division.
So how many lucha wrestlers did they have in WCW?
A lot.
What's
a lot of... there was... what's
called?
Pretty much the entire Cruiserweight division. You had El Parco, you had Juventud Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero was once in WCW. You also had.
Did Eddie Guerrero wear a mask?
No.
I say this for anybody that.
No, I'm talking about luchadors.
Watching. Or is it just the three of us watching?
It's just the three of us watching.
Damn it. So, I ask...
I'm getting off. I'm not watching chat no more. Anyway, I'm talking about luchadors, not just like masked wrestlers themselves.
Yeah, I'm just talking about luchadors.
WWE has had quite a few luchadors do very well. Mask gimmicks, though, I do agree there hasn't been too many, but it takes a special person to actually say, okay, I'm going to wear this mask every damn day while wrestling.
I have to take a pause for a second. I can't remember. Yeah, that's Stuart. It's been a while since I've seen Stuart's YouTube channel name, so I was thinking myself the third, is that Stuart's channel? Stuart's in chat.
Hi, Stuart.
Hi, Stuart.
Hola, Stu.
I forgot that was your channel name. It's been so long since Stuart's been on YouTube.
Well, screw you, I'm here.
Well, because we're on a delay.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. Like, if he kept his mask on, how well do you think Sami Zayn would be doing right now?
Great.
Really?
If he still had the El Generico gimmick in WWE, it would be over as shit.
Okay, but what was El Generico in ROH? Because I don't know, and would WWE have done it well?
I don't think WWE would have done El
Generico. I think
it would have been very comical. It would have been.
It was very comical, and he was still main card because of the fact of his ability in the ring.
He would not be main card. I don't care how great he was in the ring.
No, in WWE, he wouldn't be main card. He would be upper mid card at best. He would be at the position he is now if he was still doing Generico. I strongly believe that.
I like the Sami Zayn gimmick, though.
Oh, I do too. Don't get me wrong. But if he was doing Generico with the broken English and everything with the shitty promos and stuff like that.
People doing shitty promos that are actually trying to do good promos. That we don't need to do shitty promos for the sake of doing shitty promos.
But it was good.
Let's move on to the next match because we've been on this for a minute, and this is where I actually...
Stuart, what do you think?
What?
Nothing. I was talking to Stuart.
We're 12 minutes in, and we've talked about one match.
Yep.
Let's talk about American Alpha versus the Revival, and it was a good match. I very much disagree with the ending.
There's reasons why I drank.
And not that I'm like, American Alpha needs to win, but you literally just gave the tag team titles back to the most boring tag team in NXT, and now they're the only
second. I will argue second most boring tag team.
Whatever. They're boring.
Okay.
They're not good gimmick-wise. They're actually pretty good wrestlers.
I honestly rather watch Blake and Murphy over those two.
That's because you want to see Alexa Bliss.
We'll get there later. But Chris, I told you I was going to compare this to the women's match, right? Because in this match, no matter what they did, I wouldn't have liked it because literally a week ago on NXT, they presented me with a better option that I knew I wasn't getting tonight, which was American Alpha versus Gargano and Ciampa. It's like, it's one of those, yeah, you got to build them up, and okay, yeah, it would be face versus face and rah. And so you want to have them fight on the weekly show. Cool. Don't show me a better match than what you're going to show at your pay-per-view a week before your pay-per-view. Because Gargano and Ciampa versus American Alpha on a pay-per-view stage would be match of the year contender worthy. So shitty booking on their part, not necessarily anybody's fault, but the first of two times in the past 3 weeks that you presented me with a better option than what we were going to see at this pay-per-view tonight.
Yes.
The other half of that, I don't know what's going on in the chat right now.
Stewart's talking about how WWE just isn't confident enough to book lucha wrestlers. They don't have any confidence in booking them with matches. on.
Okay. So, yeah, like I say, I don't really know what they're doing with the tag team division right now because you've really only got 3 teams. And Gargano and Ciampa are being pushed as singles guys leading up to the Cruiserweight tournament. But, I mean, come on. Gargano and Ciampa versus the American Alpha versus what we got tonight, apples and oranges.
Also, can we talk about the end of the match where they apparently debuted a new tag team? We don't know who their names are. We know that they're being managed by a WWE legend that I don't know about, but these guys might know more about.
I don't know much about personally. I just know that Paul Ellering is not only the guy that used to manage the Legion of Doom, but he's also the, I think, either father or uncle of Rachel Ellering, who debuted a couple weeks ago on NXT.
In which my girl Alexa Bliss beat her.
Yes.
I know
the legacy killer.
Can I say something though? Can I say something though? Like,
say something, please.
With the Rachel Ellering, Paul Ellering thing, right? Can Charlotte and Ric Flair take a lesson from Paul and Rachel and say, yeah, if your kid's on the same show as you, you don't necessarily have to be involved?
Well, I mean, that's already passed, but we could talk about that before the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's true too. It's a better because he's known as a tag team.
Yeah.
He's known as a tag team. What do you call it? Manager. So they brought him in with another massive tag team. Can we see Basham Brothers on steroids? Can we see Basham Brothers on steroids?
Yeah.
All right.
These guys were trying to make an impact by attacking American Alpha, and so they're obviously coming in as heels. Their look is super generic. Like they look like they walked off. They were extras that have walked off the set of 12 rounds. Like their attire is not good.
Wait. No, they didn't walk off the set of 12 rounds. They walked off the set of the Marine 5, starring our Intercontinental Champion, Mike The Miz.
They're just so generic looking that I don't give a shit about these guys. Already. And because I haven't been watching enough to know who their manager is, it means nothing to someone like me.
See, that's the problem too. Is I watched social media blow up after that happened. None of the social media was talking about this new team, and that's sort of counteractive to what NXT tries to do. But I will talk about their look being super generic. I was like, American Alpha just got jumped by Fat Shield. That's a thing. They
got jumped by Fat Shield. They don't have a third member because they ate him.
Oh my god. Well, one of the guys look like.
Are we fat shaming these dudes already?
No, we're not fat shaming. We're just like.
They're big dudes.
Yeah.
They are big dudes. They are very generic looking.
Anybody that follows me on Facebook knows I had to tell a really sad story today about being on the bus and having to share a very small bench with a very large woman. You cannot say that somebody's large without sounding like a dick, but these dudes are big.
They are big dudes.
And one of them looks like puffy, bald Roman Reigns.
Also, now, can we have American Alpha go to main card? Just saying.
Well, that's what Spaz was saying earlier.
Myself the Third says real wrestlers have curves. Good job. Okay,
you will be correct.
You're a new team. You want to make an impact. I get that. You want to interrupt or come in right after a tag team championship match. So you're seen right up there with the upper echelon of the division. Why, then, would you attack the guys that lost? Would you attack the guys that are no longer champions? If you want to make a message, wouldn't you attack the champions?
Because they're scared.
The reason why they attacked American Alpha was to establish that they're heel.
Well, I mean, there's that, but in a debut, you want to make an impact, not necessarily, shoot the wad on telling people what your direction is.
Possibly, they did it only for the sheer fact that they went after the faces who they may have lost that match, which is bullshit. But they still were walking out that match looking extremely strong because it took the Revival cheating multiple times throughout the match to win.
Yeah, but I will say these guys, they look okay. This is my initial assumption based on us seeing them for a couple of minutes. They're big guys. They're powerful guys. They're going to be put out there as powerful guys. And out of the two teams that just fought, you got one technical wrestling team and one sort of tough brawling team. If you want to establish yourself as being tough, would you not only attack the new champions, but attack the team that's more well-known for a rugged, brawling, like, fisticuff type of style as well? Like, the more I think...
Stuart says you attack them because it works for the script.
Well, you attack them because the script said so, but that's another story for another day. That's why pencils have erasers, kids.
Yep.
So, I think we can all agree, thoroughly unimpressed with the new guys. Granted.
Well, no, that's...
I'm thoroughly
unimpressed with what they were written to do. As far as them as a team, I'll wait till they have a match. Like, that's a little...
I'll give you that, but as of what they've given me right now, if I were to judge solely based on what they gave me right now, thoroughly unimpressed.
Their debut match will be up against Mark Henry and the Big Show.
Let's talk about something more interesting. We'll talk about Shinsuke Nakamura versus Austin Aries. Spaz, I believe you have some strong words for the end of this match.
Strong words for the king.
Oh.
And I'm letting you go first because then I won't look like such a dick for what I'm going to say.
I don't have strong words. I have an opinion that most people won't agree with. I'm thinking Guapo might know where I'm coming from here. I'm not entirely sure because we didn't get a chance to talk before we started recording because Guapo came late.
My beer is ready.
Basically, when you got this match, this was the attraction match. For a lot of people, this was why you watched the show. First of all, why was this not semi-main? Fucking Nia Jax should not be semi-main in a card that has this match. Second of all, in this match, you have two fantastic wrestlers. One I know a little bit about from being a TNA fan. The other I don't know anything about, and I enjoy both. In this match, you had one guy in Austin Aries that really needed a win. Like a big, meaningful win. And you got one guy in Nakamura that, in my personal opinion, really needed a loss. Because right now, as I was saying to Kristen before we came on the air, I'm starting to get that feeling with Nakamura where, oh, he's out. Who's he beating this week? Show me that he can lose so that when he wins, it's more exciting. That's my thing for Nakamura. So you had a guy that really needs a win and a guy that really needs a loss, and you did it the opposite way. Nothing against Nakamura, because I think Nakamura is great at everything he does. His whole shtick is great. The fact that I didn't watch him in Japan, so he's new to me, is great. But I really think Aries needed a win tonight, and when he didn't get it, kind of deflated me a little bit, I'm not going to lie. I will say, probably, okay, maybe second or third for spot of the night, that brainbuster on the apron.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was one of the best spots.
Not a huge thing. Fantastic match. Don't let me take anything away from the match. I don't agree with who won.
I'm going to say something that some people are going to, not be happy with. Before I say this, I'm not saying he's not a great wrestler, because he is. I don't get the Shinsuke Nakamura, gimmick.
Kristen?
It just doesn't appeal to me in any ways. It's weird to me. A lot of people like Stardust when he was being wacky and whatever, and I don't get it, and I don't understand it, and it's not appealing to me, and that's not saying that he's not a great wrestler and puts on great matches. I'm not saying that. I just personally don't understand the gimmick.
Kristen?
Yes?
I don't think wrestling is for you.
Really? I don't like Shinsuke Nakamura, and I'm automatically like, well, you just don't understand wrestling. That's the exact thing that I thought people were going to say.
Even Stuart agrees with me.
No, I just don't get it. Sorry, I'm not wrong, Stuart. It's called having an opinion. I'm not saying he's not a great wrestler. I'm not saying that I'm not going to still watch him because he puts But I'm saying...
I don't know Stuart, but Stuart's a dick.
Your opinion's wrong.
Stuart, right now...
I gotta jump in.
Guys, hold on. Stuart,
find you.
Right now, while you're watching, you see my face. Put your hand up to the computer because I'm giving you a high five.
I don't get it. I'm sorry. It's just.
I'm gonna jump in. And
he's strange, and he's wearing Michael Jackson get-up, and I don't get it.
Okay. Zombie Fighter 89 apparently is another one of Kristen's friends.
Is it? Hi. How's it going?
Way to sell your audience. I will say, I have to jump in Kristen's defense here. Why I like Shinsuke Nakamura is I don't get it, and that's part of the appeal to me. I never saw him in Japan. I sort of took him for whatever he was when he showed up, and it's just kind of weird. It's bizarre. It's like the Goldust thing in the sense that most of his opponents are way too focused on like him being bizarre than to focus on him, potentially destroying them. But there's a little bit of anonymity there and a little bit of, trust the Jeff Hardy fan to say this, there's a little bit of an enigma there. And where, for me, not knowing what he is exactly is part of the fun. I do understand, coming from Kristen's point of view, how that could be frustrating if that's not something that you particularly appreciate at the time. So you're not 100% wrong. I'm on the opposite end of that to you, but I get your point.
I love this match. I love the entire match just because I like both workers.
I still love the match, and I mean I have stuff to say about Austin Aries too, and I love Austin Aries, but Austin Aries looked like Jamie Noble put on a Tony Stark beard.
No. Austin Aries,
mini Iron.
Austin Aries is Canadian Triple H.
Mini Iron Man, but douchier. And I love it.
He's Canadian Triple H.
He needs to borrow Bailey's gear from when she had the Iron Man match with fucking Sasha. Mini Iron Man.
Okay. My opinion.
Things to say about both, but it was a fantastic match.
My opinion is that both are good workers. I like the match. Spaz, I agree, but don't agree with you on the Austin Aries need to win and Nakamura didn't. However, I do agree with you to a certain point because I believe they should have set up something for his next match. Either it be A, bring in Bobby Roode finally, or B, bring in Hideo, who should be back from rehab by now.
For who?
For Hideo versus Nakamura.
There is that. The fact that Austin Aries lost and Shinsuke won, I felt left both of them very open-ended on what to do next.
And there is the rumor that you missed a big conversation before we went online because you were late. But apparently the next time they do the live from Japan, like WWE special, Beast in the East, whatever, one of the main events is going to be Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kevin Owens.
Ooh.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be good. That'd be real good. I'd go for that. So, all right, guys. So I guess we're gonna move on into the women's championship match of the night.
I have a lot to say about this match, unfortunately.
And the opponents, Nia Jax versus the women's champion, Asuka.
This match is proof that even the nicest, cleanest pair of white pants can still have a skid mark, and that skid mark is Nia Jax. I'm sorry.
I think if she had a better moveset, she would be better. But her moveset is very bland right now. Her get-up is very bland. It kind of looks like they took Karma's old moveset, or old, attire, covered up the neckline, and added a skirt. It's just... There's just a lot wrong with her. Oh, I would just like to add, that stupid cowl thing that she wears out to the ring is the worst thing I've ever seen in wrestling.
Well, she is a monster.
It's awful. It is so bad.
Okay. I'm going to say this. Kristen, I told you I wasn't going to say this on the air, but I lied. I'm going to say this as nicely as I possibly can because everybody out there likes to think that I'm sexist and racist and everything else. Okay, look at me, people. I'm the last person that would body shame anybody, and I'm not body shaming Nia Jax. But WWE/NXT book her like a fat chick.
They are body shaming her.
Yeah, they book her like a fat chick, and I'm just saying this for what it is. They dress her horribly. She's a bigger girl, which is fine. We've had bigger girls in the...
Not a bad-looking girl.
No, well, she's a pretty girl, but...
Okay, she's kind of Roman Reigns with tits, but that's beside the point. But okay.
I really disagree. We continue.
She's a bigger girl, which is fine. I legitimately am not bashing her for that. But they dress her in a really, like Kristen said, a really unflattering way, and all of her moves are fat people moves. Like, she does the leg drop, but really she's just sitting on your face.
She does Big Show moves.
No, she doesn't even do Big Show moves, because Big Show's at least got some striking, some throws, and whatever thrown in. She does Viscera moves. And
you are absolutely right with that. She does big Viscera moves.
And it's like the big leg drop. Why is it so effective? Well, because she's huge. You know, nobody can put a choke on her. Why? Because she's huge. You know, she's going to splash somebody in the corner. Even the commentators can't help but do it because it's logical. What's going to hurt more, a splash from Asuka or a splash from friggin' Nia Jax?
We're leaving that one hanging in the air.
Stuart, now I've just pictured Roman Reigns with tits. Fuck you for that.
Well, but do you know what I mean though? Like, you guys get what I'm saying. I'm not trying to insult her for being a bigger girl. That's
no,
fine.
absolutely not. Oh,
it's WWE. Like, the fire they put her in.
The character Nia Jax is booked like a fat chick, and that's really shitty. I mean, on top of that, I think she sucks in the ring. On top of that, I don't care about her. That's me personally. What they've done to her is unfortunate.
I agree completely. She's not... The way they booked her, I understand the way they booked her. However, when she doesn't have all the talent that she needs for the ring, I could see putting her on the show, yes. I don't see her working for the title yet.
I truly feel, though, that if they gave her a different moveset, gave her different stuff other than the leg drop and stuff like that, if they gave her maybe more of like a Kane moveset or even like a Mark Henry moveset, where she's like she's showing that she's strong instead of that she's big.
Right.
Because like Mark Henry's a big guy too, but Mark Henry's not marketed as a big guy. Mark Henry is marketed as a strong guy. He's the world's strongest.
He's not marketed for size. He's marketed for power.
Yeah,
correct.
Exactly. And I feel like they did the same thing for her. They did the same thing for her. That I feel like it would be better. I'm not saying she would be Asuka or Sasha Banks, but the women's division has always desperately needed a monster heel because WWE doesn't hire female monster heels, and here you have one.
But here's the problem, and you know, we talked a lot before we came online, which is kind of unfortunate because I'm just sort of repeating myself now. For one, like you said, stop doing the fat person moves and start doing some good throws, some good suplexes, some good striking type stuff.
I mean, if they gave her her uncle's moveset with Umaga, that would have been it would be way better.
Right, but also the problem is because I'm sorry, most of the divas not divas, women. I'm doing it. Most of the women in the division are so much smaller than her that she does run into the Big Show problem as far as booking. Because you have to be careful if somebody beats her because it won't look realistic, and you have to be careful when she beats somebody because the crowd is just going to be like, well, yeah, she's twice as big as that other person. Of course she beat them. Why do I care? Like it's a circle of logic that they have to be really careful with. Like if she had beaten Asuka, there's a part of me that would have been like, yeah, sit on her and she won't get up. Like and it's not really an accomplishment. And on the other side of the coin, you get somebody super tiny that goes out there and destroys Nia Jax. It looks cartoony. So like nobody wins either way. Do you know what I'm saying?
And if Nia Jax would have won tonight, obviously you'll have the rubber match of Nia versus Asuka for the title again. But if you don't take the title off of Nia with that, what woman in NXT do you put her against? Because honestly, I couldn't see her going up against like Alexa Bliss and it being logical for Bliss to win.
You know what I want to see? You know who I want to see especially when Bayley leaves. You know who needs to get a huge push in NXT is Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Guapo, you and I talked about it a little bit the last time we did a hangout. I listened to the Taz Show podcast quite a bit. He just started a new thing every Monday. They do this thing called In the Indies, and they've got 3 different women's wrestlers from the Indies that just come in and tell you all about what's going on in the Indies. One of them is Taylor Hendricks. it's Taylor Hendricks, Deonna Purrazzo, and who's the third one? I can't think of who the third one is, but they got Deonna Purrazzo, who's in NXT, I think, doing this show talking about the indies. So the more I hear about her, the more I'm going to want her to get pushed in NXT because I have a connection with that person now. But she's good. She's good. Liv Morgan is good.
I love Liv Morgan.
That girl Alaya or whatever, that's apparently from Toronto, is good. Like the whole
Alaya?
yeah. I don't like the whole like dangles all over her shirt thing. It looks kind of awkward. But
yeah.
Everybody that's saying right now, well, we lost all the good women's wrestlers except for Bayley. If we lose Bayley, we're fucked. It's like
no, we haven't.
No,
they have depth, but the thing what I'm trying to say is like there's no other woman down there other than Asuka or Bayley really who I could honestly see that they could take the title off of Nia and not be comic-y or gimmicky.
I would pose this to you: somebody who could go up against Nia and it wouldn't look bad is Charlotte, because Charlotte is a tall girl. Charlotte's a tall girl, and she's meaty, she's muscular. Or somebody say like Beth Phoenix. I mean, I know she's no longer with the company, but I'm just throwing out names. Those wrestlers do exist.
If they hadn't taken her up to the main roster and they helped her get better, I would have said Dana Brooke.
Yeah,
Dana Brooke, because she's
muscular and everything
very
like that.
muscular.
And she has a moveset that could do something.
I agree with that. They are booking her as a fat girl, and that's not cool.
No, it's not, because it makes us say it, and then we sound like jackasses.
Exactly. But I mean, her big moves are, dropping onto somebody. Or
her big moves are either sitting on you, dropping a leg on you, or squishing you in the corner. The only reason I say Dana Brooke is because they pushed Dana Brooke as a fitness person, as a power person. So it's like, okay, first of all, you got this power person who's awesome. You got this, irresistible force, immovable object type deal. Okay, here's this person that's been bench pressing everybody. Let's put them up against Nia Jax and put that strength to the test. Or unshackle Tamina from the sinking ship that is Naomi and give Tamina sort of a rebirth in NXT. Tamina versus Nia Jax. That's a no-brainer.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And WWE can book a bigger girl as not a fat chick, because they had Karma for a hot minute. She was not booked as a fat girl. She's a
1 month.
Girl.
She still wasn't believable as anybody beating her, though, especially back then when they booked the women's division the way they did.
But I'm saying,
but back then they still had Beth Phoenix who could come.
Yes.
Who would come in and who could take her on.
What I'm saying is Karma was booked as a powerhouse, not as just a big girl. Karma didn't come out and do like a leg drop or just squishing people. She had the what is that move? The implant buster.
Yeah.
Which is not a move that would exist right now, because if you mention implants, that's not politically correct. And
well, you know what I mean. She had like a move that wasn't just I'm going to fall on you.
Speaking of people that are never ever going to end up in WWE, probably, you know who I would love to see squash Nia Jax?
Velvet Sky?
No, ODB.
Oh, yeah.
ODB would be good for that, too.
Velvet Sky I do want in the division. Velvet Sky versus Sasha Banks.
We've been talking about the women's match for a while now, but I just...
Quick side note, Stewart had said that Deonna Purrazzo, she's not currently signed, and that he had worked with her a few times this year already, because he actually works for...
I don't know,
knowing people.
Stuart, I don't know you. Stuart, what do you do?
He works for PWG.
Really?
Yeah, he's a pretty... I would say he's becoming a big-time ring announcer.
Stuart, come over to my channel. I have a Q&A coming up soon.
I don't know that he talks about wrestling anymore.
He doesn't talk about WWE.
Not on camera, anyways, because, you gotta look good.
But he can ask me questions anonymously, and I will just call him Myself the Third. Myself the Third says we should rename the implant buster the Mammary Slam. That's fucking terrible.
Booby bomb.
Booby bomb.
Booby bomb.
There's just one more thing.
Doesn't the Blue Meanie already have the booby bomb? Stuart?
Does he?
I don't know.
Velvet Sky versus
It's just I know he knows what you call it. He knows Blue Beanie.
Anything else anybody wants to add about the women's match?
No.
I just wanted to add...
my initial point I never really got to make.
Go ahead.
About the tag team match, and the match that I would much rather have seen. We had a triple. As soon as we found out that Bayley was injured, we had. Guapo knows exactly where I'm going with this too.
Oh,
we had a triple threat match to see who was going to get the #1 contendership for this match.
Should have been fucking Bliss.
There we go. And I'm not just saying that out of bias because me and Guapo both like Bliss, but Nia Jax has already had a shot. Carmella's already had a shot. No offense to Carmella, I do like her. She's getting better, but I don't think she's ready to be champion or be in that spotlight just yet. Nia Jax, I'm sick of. She can fuck off. Alexa Bliss is fucking way underrated in the ring, and I'm sorry, male or female, who's a better heel in NXT right now than Alexa Bliss?
Nobody, because she's great and amazing, and she has resting Bliss face, and I love it.
You rest her Bliss face on my dick. Anyway.
I mean...
Kristen's like, why am I here?
I mean, I just shaved today, but I'll let her grow in a mustache ride, if you know what I mean.
Moving on.
You
guys are gross.
Mustache.
There's a reason why they call me Senor de Guapo.
The one-legged Russian wheelbarrow.
The funny thing is, I just watched that How I Met Your Mother episode the other day. Anyway.
I'm not even going to talk about what I was going to talk about because I don't want to talk about women's matches anymore because you guys are gross. Moving on.
No. Kristen, let me talk about a quote from you a while ago. Guys. Finn Balor is my answer.
I don't think I said guys that many times, so I feel like you're misquoting me.
It's most likely. But it happens somewhat like that.
He'll do something on your channel, Spaz.
A less embellished version of some of that may have happened.
Speaking of Finn Balor, let's move to the main event. Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor. We all know how much I love Finn Balor. I love you, Finn Balor. You don't get a 20-minute entrance. You're not the fucking Undertaker. God, his entrance was longer than some pre-shows at pay-per-views.
Hey.
False.
And I love
his
him,
entrance is showing shades of Bullet Club.
Really?
Or just the club.
Leaving WWE to go back to Japan? Because Japan apparently still owns the Bullet Club.
Yeah, they do. But, you know.
But Finn Balor comes out. He does the demon thing. I felt like it was a little bit of a mute paint than what he usually does.
Wait. Triple threat
Whoa.
match.
Whoa.
Triple threat match.
Whoa.
American Alpha versus Gargano and Ciampa versus Balor and Styles.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
Versus the Hardy Boys.
Oh.
No.
Stuart, I made a joke about how his entrance was longer than some pre-show matches, and Stuart says, "Well, it's also better than some pre-show matches."
Very true.
The pre-show had Ray Young and Lita and Corey Graves. So
side note, Spaz. After the little gimmick or whatever they're doing in TNA right now with the Hardy Boys, I don't even see them coming back.
I haven't watched TNA.
Why are we talking about the Hardy Boys?
Because he brought them up.
Well, he said side note, but I will say, seeing as Kristen shamed me out of it, I haven't watched TNA in a while.
Well, you did buy Bound for Glory.
Shame.
I'm still going to back the Hardy Boys. I'm not going to watch the show, but I'm still going to...
Hashtag Spaz bought Bound for Glory. Moving on.
Hashtag we're all going to tear the shit out of Slammiversary. I've decided.
Hashtag that would mean I'd have to watch Slammiversary. Moving on.
If it's on TV for free, yeah, totally. I ain't buying it.
Can we go back a step before we
Brother
talk
Nero, thank you.
about how Bobby Roode is now in NXT?
Okay, I do have, okay, seeing as Guapo brought it up, I do have to say one thing. Another podcast I listened to tried to describe the Hardy Boys thing, and they described Matt Hardy as a fat Nicolas Cage doing a Bray Wyatt impression.
More like a fat Nicolas Cage doing a Bray Wyatt impression while also trying to summon his inner Johnny Depp doing fucking Edward Scissorhands.
And you still want me to watch Slammiversary? With that?
No, I want to cut it up for fun.
Now we may not have to watch Slammiversary, though. See, it's that awful.
Hey, okay, I watched X-Men Apocalypse and didn't leave, so I get points.
Hey, that movie was good.
I love, see? Guapo agrees with me.
I liked it.
I liked it too. He hated it.
Okay, Apocalypse or Civil War?
Civil War, but that's not really that's not something you can fight with. I would pick Apocalypse over Batman vs Superman, though.
That's false.
We're talking. No. We're not going on this subject. We'll do a movie recap and we'll argue about movies. We're not talking about that. My question to you, Spaz, who actually sometimes watches TNA, and I asked you this on the break, so now you have more of a chance to answer. With Bobby Roode now in NXT, who's left in TNA? Who's still wrestling there? Is it 6 people?
That you would know the name of, yes. I haven't watched. I've only seen the clips of what people are making fun of, so I don't know. I'm not saying TNA is good. I've never said TNA is fantastic. I'm just saying I will always be a fan of the Hardy Boys no matter what somebody else makes them do.
Well, nobody can fault you for being loyal.
I am loyal, goddamn.
Exactly. Okay, so let's talk about the Finn Balor Samoa Joe cage match. Overall thoughts, Spaz, go.
Kind of a nerdy thing for me to say, but I love the fact that they brought back the old Armageddon, like, the end is here music. Like, that's super old. That's from the Armageddon days, and it was really, really cool.
I like the baby metal.
And the way that they sort of gave the cage an entrance, like it was all fanned out, and they folded it down around the ring. I know it's because they're in a smaller building, but it's still kind of cool. It having moving parts gave it that feel of, like, the cage is, like, the unnamed third participant vibe, which I really like. It's kind of like when they give the Hell in the Cell an entrance at WrestleMania. It adds something.
I for some reason, and maybe I'm wrong when I say this, for some reason this cage, like, looked better than the WWE cages. I don't know.
Cage in a while. What they did to this cage, it's what they did to Hell in the Cell a couple years ago. They took out the old style of framing and they put in the square bar framing, which makes everything look thicker and makes everything look a bit brighter. So it does give it a really, I don't want to say flashy because that makes it sound cheap, but it gives it a more prominent look.
I for some reason I noticed the cage, which is a weird thing to say in a cage match, but, like, I noticed the cage in, like, a positive way. And we had Samoa Joe as the champion, Finn Balor coming in for his rematch. I felt like this feud with Finn Balor and Samoa Joe was kind of the perfect mix of the face that we want to win, that we're, like, hoping desperately we want to win, versus the heel that we can respect him a little bit because we're, like, kind of like, damn it, he's good, but I don't want him to fucking win.
Who? Joe?
In Samoa Joe.
No, you had the powerful heel, and how can I say this? Because Finn Balor's not an underdog. I don't see him as an underdog.
They portray him as an underdog, and I liked that.
I don't even think they really portray him, because to me, and I know this is different from how most people see it, an underdog is somebody who wins even though they weren't supposed to. Like, that's what underdog feels like to me, and I don't think they do that with Finn Balor.
Yeah.
But, how can I say this? He's the guy everybody gets behind. Joe is the guy that, okay, look at everything he brought to the table. I don't mind that he won. It's the match where, yes, you like one guy, yes, you don't like the other guy, but either result will give you satisfaction in a certain way, right? Because if Samoa Joe wins, it means he plowed you, which is what happened.
Zombie Fighter brought up that he enjoyed the spot where Finn Balor was kicking Samoa Joe, and he fell off of the rope and hit the ropes, and it caused Finn Balor to essentially low blow himself.
Yeah, and even on commentary, they play it up as, like, Samoa Joe fell unconscious for a second, but he did it in a really lucky way, which is like, yeah. So it's like, yeah, Balor got a nut shot, but Joe got lucky with that nut shot. What's his name? I don't remember the other guy's name. Todd, whatever, and Corey Graves are a fucking. They're forming up to be a really decent. Tom Phillips and Corey Graves are forming up to be a really favorable commentary team.
I agree. I like Tom Phillips on. I mean, he doesn't have the same kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Robustness or excitement that who's the new guy on SmackDown that you were talking about?
Mauro Ranallo.
Yes, that guy.
You know what though? Like Corey Graves is a little bit more exuberant. He's got a little bit more attitude. So Tom Phillips is playing the perfect sort of straight man to that type of personality. And although, getting back to our conversation earlier, I do wish that Mauro Ranallo and Corey Graves were just commentating it. Mauro Ranallo, Corey Graves, and Renee Young should commentate
everything.
Commentate everything.
I feel like it'd get boring after a while.
No.
You get bored with Renee Young.
Involving Renee Young is boring.
Guys, she has a boyfriend, and he's crazy.
Hey, I could...
But Guapo, between the two of us, we know somebody that has tranquilizer darts, right?
I live in Louisiana.
I don't know.
Say it all.
Okay.
He doesn't know what that means. He doesn't know what Louisiana tendencies are.
I just don't know what the stereotypes are. I don't.
Yes.
Some of us don't.
Find somebody with tranquilizers.
Let's just say I have a boat. I know where to hide a body. That's all I'm going to say because of Homeland Security reasons.
Did you guys just admit to wanting to kill Dean Ambrose on a live stream?
No, of course not, because I would never want to do that because Dean Ambrose is awesome.
or I could settle for taking out Dolph Ziggler and taking his trophy. That'd be nice.
Who is Dolph Ziggler dating?
Dana Brooke.
Ugh.
I'm gonna leave.
I would do terrible.
All yours.
Nope.
All yours.
Nope.
I would do terrible, horrible things to Dana Brooke.
Good for you. No, I'm good.
Stuart says, you people are crazy. I'm staying up north.
Where does Stuart live?
Stuart lives in Philadelphia.
Come back down, Stu. We miss you.
Way more north than you.
It is hot as fuck, though. And humid as fuck.
Stuart, I'm a whole other
I brought Stuart to both Louisiana and Texas at one point. He was not a fan. Although, granted, in his defense, he's been a Philly boy most of his life, and I took him to middle of bumfuck nowhere, Texas, where you're 45 minutes from the closest Walmart, middle of nowhere. It was a bit of a drastic change for him.
Stuart, you liked it when you came in to Louisiana, didn't you?
Well, yes, he was in civilization then.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the match before we get too sidetracked. Spaz, what were now let's go Guapo. Guapo, how'd you feel about this match?
I was okay with it, only for the fact that I had the feeling that Balor wasn't going to win. I'm happy they ended it the way that they did with a pin instead of one of them escaping the cell. So, but besides that, I mean, there was good spots throughout the entire match, and it was good to watch. It wasn't a boring match. So,
sorry,
I liked it.
Laughing. Stuart just said Texas tried to kill him. Are you talking about the Black Widow spider? Or are you talking about the fact that my brother-in-law tried to introduce you to their huge dogs and you don't like dogs? I just need to know. Clarify this for me, Stuart.
I feel very left out as the only non-American in this conversation.
Anyway, Spaz, what'd you feel about the match?
I feel
I'm wearing my American Alpha shirt. Just saying.
I saw a spot that I never thought I would see in this match was that second rope muscle buster.
Yes, the fucking spider. Yeah, that second rope muscle buster was fucking crazy.
Because this is the thing, when Samoa Joe first came in, we didn't think they were going to let him do the muscle buster at all. And then he did it to friggin' Tyson Kidd, and Tyson Kidd got himself all fucked up. So you figured they were going to make him stop it, let alone doing it from the top. Because you think about it, to do the muscle buster, you're not only falling straight back off that second turnbuckle, you're falling straight back off that second turnbuckle and turning in midair. So props to WWE for letting them do that. Also, not as impressive, but Finn Balor pulling the sling blade off the top rope was pretty decent. It looked like a really, really messy twist of fate in a good, messy in a good way. Okay, it's messy, so it probably hurt more.
Yeah.
So those are my 3 spots. Those 2 spots and the Brainbuster on the apron by Aries.
Yeah. And also when that Brainbuster happened, I did scream, Brainbuster! Like that. But with more enthusiasm.
Well, show us the more enthusiasm then.
I can't. People are sleeping in my house.
I agree with all of that. I thought it was a really good match. I think Finn doesn't have anything left to do as champion, so it's good that Samoa Joe kept the title. He was champion for like 200 plus days, fought everybody, beat Samoa Joe at least once. He didn't have much else to do as champion. Does this mean to you guys, and before I ask you guys this question, I know that at least in our Smart Mark group, Finn Balor has kind of become the old Sting, and I'll explain that. When Sting was signed,
maybe he's coming this time.
When Sting was timed,
is it Sting? It's Sting, isn't it? Is it Sting?
Everybody was just like, every time there was a mystery tag team partner, mystery opponent, we're like, it's Sting, guys. Totally going to be Sting. Finn Balor's the new Sting in that aspect.
I want to say this, all right? I love the Demon Finn Balor gimmick. I really do. I think it's great. I think creatively they do some cool things with it. I think it has its place. I think when they come to the main, especially if they do the Balor Club thing, but just even if he's not associated with the club at all, I really want him to come out as like week-to-week NXT sort of rock star douchebag Finn Balor, because I think it's so fucking good.
He has to start
he's
off
a
as rock star douchebag Finn.
He's successfully pulling off what I think Dolph Ziggler is trying to do, where he's like that slimy asshole guy, but yet he's the good guy.
I agree with that. Do you guys think he's
slightly less creepy Johnny Curtis?
Do you guys think he's coming to the main roster?
Yes. And Stewart just said, I see him coming either Money in the Bank or for the draft.
Do you think they're gonna have? We're moving to Raw. We're moving to regular WWE now. Regular vanilla WWE now. Do you think they're gonna have a draft show like they used to have? Where like
they're doing a draft show on the Monday that's 8 days before the first live SmackDown.
Okay.
I see them doing a draft, but the thing is, I also see that. I really hope they drop Raw back to 2 hours too.
Yeah. I hope that it brings Raw back to 2 hours too, just because Raw is becoming very cumbersome to watch.
Okay, am I a bad person to say that it's really funny that they announced the draft and the brand extension, which gives everybody more time on television, right after they fired a bunch of people?
Yes and no, because that was just dead weight anyway.
Fair. They were all people that we were like, yeah, they're not doing it much anyways.
Okay, people like Damian Sandow fans are crying when you say that.
Yeah, him getting fired was.
Damian Sandow, but he wasn't doing much. They didn't have anything to do
no,
with.
But what I'm saying is, with the split rosters and more time for specific people on specific shows, Damian Sandow, I would think, would be somebody you would utilize. Cody Rhodes would be somebody I would think you would utilize.
I think Cody Rhodes asked for his release, though.
Yeah, but that's because they weren't giving him anything. With the brand extension, right, you've got more time for more people, because there's less people on the roster for you to fight for time with. You know what I mean? Like, if you're on Raw and you don't get any time because these guys are doing this, and then on SmackDown these guys are doing this again, and that's also why you didn't get any time, well, you're fighting with half the people. And I think if he had, not blaming Cody Rhodes, because no, they weren't doing anything with him, but I think if he had known about this, and if he had stuck it out maybe another couple of weeks, he could have found out about this and could have utilized it to his fullest extent. I don't think that Damian Sandow or Cody Rhodes have anything to worry about. I know Cody Rhodes is already set up for like 3 different fights with 3 different people. He's fighting Michael Elgin. I don't know who that is. He's fighting Kurt Angle at some local show, at some indie show. And he's fighting somebody else at some other show. He's
I would
surely
just like to read this because Stuart just posted the fact that people can possibly be not doing all that much on a show that is 3 hours long is a failure of the production and writing staff.
well,
You're
okay,
correct,
but
Stuart.
here's the thing as well. You can be, how can I say it? You can be a great car, but a car is only as good as the driver, and Vince still has the ability to say, you guys have written all this good stuff, but I need me a little bit more Roman Reigns. So I think the blame falls
Look.
up the ladder.
That's
We
a
have time
great
to talk
script,
about this in a little
but
bit.
this doesn't make Roman look strong.
Can we agree that, I tried to give Roman Reigns the benefit of the doubt, and he is almost unbearable as champion. Like, his promos are getting worse as champion.
Yeah.
Okay, but what they're doing with Rollins right now as his opponent isn't much better. With the trolling up and down the ramp and not really saying anything and doing all these video packages on him that make him look like a babyface when he's supposed to be a heel, and they're not doing anything for Rollins either. I will say that Reigns is kind of the conundrum right now. I'm not saying, okay, first of all, I'm not saying that Roman Reigns is the best guy in the ring, but I do say that when I see him doing a promo for his match, I'm saying constantly, shut up, your promo sucks, get to your match. Because I do want to see what he does. Because he is getting better. I feel like I make this case for a lot of people. He's not the best, but he's getting better. It's the Bella argument again, but I don't not enjoy Roman Reigns matches. I just wish I could skip the build sometimes.
I agree with you in that aspect, but before he was champion, I felt like, not in huge steps, that he was getting better on the mic, and I feel like since being champion, he's gotten progressively worse, especially since adopting the "I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy" mantra.
Hey, he's not a bad guy.
You gotta go. You gotta finish it
I
up.
just want to shoot myself.
Yes.
I'm not a good champion. I'm not a bad champion. I'm a champion.
I am a placeholder.
You leave that placeholder for who though? Okay, let's get something straight right now. I'm calling it right now. The brand split is the nice name that they're putting on it. What they're really doing is the Cena show and the Roman show.
Oh, that would be the worst.
Please no.
Please.
The rivalry between AJ Styles and John Cena is apparently what they're moving to SmackDown to establish the SmackDown title. And Roman Reigns and Rollins are going to keep fighting over the WWE.
So are they going to make another heavyweight title again?
Hang on. Spaz. Stuart just... If the guy being decent in the ring meant all that much, we'd have more successful luchadors in WWE. Boom.
Oh, you mean the spot monkeys in the back? Oh.
I'm sorry, I have to agree with that comment, too.
I'm going to try and find you guys a picture, and I will be back in a second.
I mean, original Sin Cara couldn't do shit, so...
Okay, look in your... I think I've shown you guys this before, but look in your Facebook Messenger thing. That's what apparently the SmackDown title is going to look like.
I don't have my Facebook thing open.
Guapo, help us out, buddy.
The Winged Eagle?
Yeah, the new Winged Eagle.
There's a new Winged Eagle belt? Oh, okay, I've seen the belt.
Yeah, this one.
That could be the new SmackDown belt?
I don't know. Will it be the new SmackDown belt? I'm trying to talk so people can see it. Can you see it, people?
Yes, we can.
I'm sure they can. Okay.
I feel like I did this in a video not that long ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if that becomes the SmackDown title. I would be okay with that. I don't want them to bring the big gold belt back because that's come and gone twice already, and it will become a joke if they do that again.
So what would they call the title if they have a title for SmackDown? What do they call it?
If they call it anything even close to the SmackDown World Champion, I will laugh and cry at the same time.
Because, I mean, they can't call it the World Heavyweight Championship because that's kind of what they're calling the other belt. They can't really call it the WWE Championship because That's also what they're calling the other belt. So what do they call it?
The WWE Worldwide Championship.
Lame.
Okay, anything they do is going to be lame. Okay.
Stuart, that's not appropriate.
Oh, shit.
He said, I'm not saying I like that belt, but I just popped a half-E.
If you want a video with Kristen in it and you've only got a half-E, you got to get
Just
that.
a half chub? That's it? I mean, come on, Stuart. Come on.
Stuart used to date,
No,
so
really, come on.
I'm not as much of a novelty to him as other people, as I am to other people.
Okay, here it is. The WWE King of the Mountain Championship.
Boo!
You know. How about they call it, I don't know. I got nothing. Open the SmackDown gate. Open weight championship. How about too much, not enough room title or something? I don't know.
The other world title.
No. Here it is. It's the not a good title, not a bad title, the title championship.
Only way that works is if it spins.
Oh no. No. Okay. Laying down an idiom right now. From here on in, no more personal championships unless Jeff Hardy comes back with the Enigma belt.
Boo!
No.
Especially that. Here, how about this? How about since Roman's probably gonna be on Raw and they'll probably put Cena on SmackDown, why don't we call it the John Cena Open Invitational Belt Championship?
This is the belt that Cena will hold. Championship.
The John Cena Open Invitational belt that nobody wins except for John Cena.
Hashtag Cena wins, LOL.
No, it's the belt's going to be called, and his name is Championship.
Yeah. How about the because fuck you, that's why Championship?
It was me all along, Austin Championship.
We'll keep all the wrestlers on Raw. We'll put all the superstars on SmackDown, and we'll call it the Vince McMahon Memorial Championship.
The Vince McMahon Memorial Championship.
Where wrestlers go to die championship. The SmackDown big shiny thing.
The big silver belt.
The big silver belt. You mean the ECW title?
Oh, that is the last time we had a silver wing championship. Oh.
Just call it the Impact Championship.
Apparently, one of the thoughts being kicked around at one point, because Shane McMahon bought WCW from Vince in storyline, was that one of the shows was going to be like, whatever, call it like WWE Raw and WCW SmackDown.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Zombie came up with a legitimate one. They could call it the Classic WWE Championship.
Classic just sounds old.
Well, I mean, it does look like the Winged Eagle belt.
But they'll put it on the Big Show. Or they'll put it on Vince. Because that's what the people want to see.
No,
they'll make a whole new belt. And hang on, hear me out. They'll make a whole new belt for SmackDown, and then Roman Reigns wins that one too.
Yep. And then becomes the first undisputed champ. Oh wait.
Jericho invented being the undisputed champion.
It'd be the first undisputed classic heavyweight WWE World Championship.
No.
So,
it would be.
So Randy Orton wins it?
It's the new era undisputed guy that won. Champion.
It's the new era championship.
I'm sticking with John Cena Open Invitational Championship.
Call it the Here Cena Now Go Away Championship.
Call it the Shovel Championship.
If it was actually
shaped like a shovel.
If the plate was like a shovel head. Although, what I have heard that I do kind of like is them making specific divisions specific to specific shows. most people don't like the idea of keeping the entire women's division on one show. I will accept it grudgingly if that means we're getting the cruiserweight division on the other show.
I could agree with that.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough women to have them on.
There's not enough women to have two divisions, and we don't want the Divas title to come back.
And what do they do with the tag, though? Do they do just specific show, or do they work both?
I would say...
Or
Okay,
do you go back to having two tag titles again?
I would say, okay, unify... Okay, here's what you do. Unify the U.S. and Intercontinental title, and have just the Intercontinental title. Intercontinental title stays on Raw. Women's division stays on Raw. SmackDown gets tag team division and the Cruiserweight division.
But just on that premise alone, SmackDown would have more people on its roster just because they have all the tag teams.
Right, but it's not like you're trying to... It's not like two people are there filling two spots. They're filling one tag team spot. Like four guys having a tag team match takes up the same segment as two guys having a singles match.
That's true.
I just had I just had the best idea for the championship title.
I don't know.
It's the SmackDown division title
That would be so lame. I'm sorry.
instead of the X division.
That would be so awful.
Unless you want to take the Cruiserweight title and make it the main title on SmackDown.
No, they won't do that.
Watch Roman Reigns starve himself to win another belt.
Yeah, they wouldn't do it.
That's false. That's false.
All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap it up because we could ramble about this and make...
Wait, there's one more thing we need to ramble about. The fact that Brock Lesnar is going to have a match in UFC again before Punk. Thoughts?
I think it's dumb of Brock Lesnar to have a UFC fight before his WWE match. I could see having your WWE match before your UFC fight because WWE is scripted, so they could be like, go a little easy on him. He's going to be at UFC, like, in a little while.
Yeah,
so
but Vince isn't going to sell out his own show to make Brock okay for Dana White.
Golden pot device, yeah, you're right. Yeah. But, you know, Lesnar's going to get money. That's why he's doing it.
The only way I care about this at all, and it's the same thing as when Batista did it, when Lashley did it, if CM Punk ever does it, the only reason I will care at all is because, you know, there's the big rift between UFC fans and pro wrestling fans, and, you know, it's fake, it's bullshit, rah. Anytime a former WWE star goes in and beats one of their guys, whether we like Brock Lesnar or not, it's a win for us.
I know what you're talking about, and I could not agree more because when Brock Lesnar beat Randy Couture, oh my God. Well, before he beat Randy Couture was the greatest thing ever to UFC fans. They loved him. And then Brock Lesnar beat Randy Couture, and all of a sudden Randy Couture became, oh, Brock Lesnar's just beating up on an old guy.
Mm-hmm.
What I do like about this and what it does open up, and I don't know the business side of things. None of us really knows what goes on behind the scenes. But one thing we've been talking about for it's either 1 or 2 years now is Ronda Rousey being involved in something in the WWE. Now, for Brock to go do this, Vince had to make an exception to his contract because WWE still owns Brock's contract as a performer, right? So I'm thinking Vince McMahon is not going to do this for nothing. And if the return on this is we see Ronda Rousey in a WrestleMania match, I'm okay with that.
I think Ronda Rousey would need to become, what's the word? More relevant again. She's kind of faded from the spotlight since losing her title. But
another one I would just do terrible, horrible things to.
But she would kill you.
That's okay.
That's why Snoo I understand.
That's really okay. I just Dana Brooke, Ronda Rousey sandwich. Or Ronda Rousey, Michelle Rodriguez sandwich.
On that note, I think we're going to cut the show off now.
Hold on. Stewart's comment, Brock faces off against Hunt, Brock wins, Rollins cashes in. Oh, God.
Yes.
Great.
Okay, let's call this right now, especially because there's going to be an Ambrose Asylum match, or an Ambrose Asylum segment next week on Raw. So he's definitely getting between Rollins and Reigns. They're definitely setting up for Shield triple threat at SummerSlam.
That'd be awesome. I'm all for that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Honestly, what I want to see out of this is you got Rollins versus Reigns set to go off at Money in the Bank. Ambrose cashes in at the last minute, right before the match starts, makes it a triple threat. Something happens in the match where there's no winner. No winner. Some outside force fucking destroys them or whatever, or the club comes out to make a statement and they just fucking destroy everybody. For whatever reason, the match doesn't happen. Instead of Reigns keeping his title, the McMahons come out and were like, fuck it, you guys can bicker all you want, we're holding up the title until SummerSlam. Triple threat, no rules, no championship advantage, main event for SummerSlam.
Yes.
I'd be all for that. Don't know that that's going to happen, but I'd be all for it.
Also, you might think I'm funny for saying this, but John Cena, Enzo, and Cass versus the club at SummerSlam.
As weird as it sounds, I think John Cena would fit with them.
Yes. Oh, he fully would.
Hopefully he doesn't, like, suck all the awesomeness off of them, but...
Are you talking sucking Enzo?
No, that's not what I'm talking about at all.
That's really weird, Kristen.
Yeah, it is really weird. Why'd you make it weird, Spaz?
Hashtag you made it weird.
You made it.
All right, guys. Well, it's ridiculous o'clock in the morning, and I think that's all we have for you tonight. And we have been Wrestle Recap. I am Senor Guapo. You can follow me on Twitter at Guapo504. And also on here, Black Cat Feline's channel, where we do Wrestle Recap every so often. Spaz, tell them where we find you.
Kristen, apparently Guapo's closing your show.
That's fun. It's his show, too.
For those of you that don't know me, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, because people are actually starting to notice me there. And, of course, come over, check me out on YouTube at, everything is Spaz Phoenix. Google Spaz Phoenix and you will find me. Cheap plug. This Tuesday, me and these two delightful people here will be previewing Money in the Bank over on my channel. Even myself the third says Kristen made it weird. So please go check us out there. Guapo was going to plug something else, apparently.
Cheaper plug. Go to Spaz's Go to Spaz's channel and go to his Axe to Phoenix for February, March, April, May, June, March, and ask questions for June, where he'll be where you can ask him up to 5 questions that he will answer at the end of this month. Do it. Do it.
Thank you, Teddy Long.
You're welcome. And the winner's gonna face the Undertaker. Kristen.
It's gonna be a
we were gonna do a movie recap about X-Men Apocalypse, but I feel like between me and Spaz, we have very different opinions on the movie, and I would rather not hate Spaz.
Hey, that's why we did not do Batman versus Superman, because you're under the delusion that was bad. So.
I am not under the delusion.
It wasn't great. I'm
Stop
sorry.
it, Spaz. You are starting shit right now.
If there was a perfect movie right now, the hero would be the Iron Bat. I'm just saying.
Yeah, more like the Iron Spider, but it's whatever.
The Iron Spider is coming.
You are, as Stuart said, your opinion is wrong. Anyways,
I'm the
you
guy.
can find me on Twitter at Black Cat Feline. You can find me on Instagram at Black Cat Feline. I post more on Instagram than I do on Twitter. You can find me and Stop It, Spaz. You can find me and Guapo every once in a while when we feel like here on the Black Cat Feline channel, where we do Wrestle Recap with Suave. Stop It, Spaz. If we can get him on camera, but if not, me and Guapo are going to take over doing it, and we'll take it from there.
Well, I'm in the process of moving at the moment, so after I get everything moved in, we're settled and everything, we'll probably get both me and the Suave on the show, since I have better audio equipment now, as you can tell, and depending on how my laptop runs, we'll see.
Also, Spaz is pretty suave.
You're correct.
Stop making gross gestures in the bottom corner. Which for me would be the bottom corner. Anyways, is anything else anybody wants to add?
I made it
other than Spaz because he's being gross.
Stay classy, YouTube.
Yes, Spaz.
Because he has been your YWC reality check.
We're tagging out. Bye, guys.
She's Kristen.
Bye.
He's Spaz. I'm Guapo. We're tagging out. And y'all have a good one.
Night, everyone.
I know I fucked it up. I don't fucking care. Night, guys.